right into it. Welcome to another episode of the Purpose Lab, where if you're not familiar with the mission, but hopefully you are by now, the mission is to interview the world's most successful people, people who understand the importance of learning the lesson that's found in what's perceived as failure, that there's really no failure. Failure is an opportunity to learn the lesson to get the win. And so that's what we're on a mission to do here at the Purpose Lab. And so some of the times I'll come on and just give some of my feedback just on a topic that I've discussed with other people, a topic that I've discussed in my training and my seminars. But today I just want to talk about, as the title says, they may laugh at you. And so let's get right into it. I think about the successful people that we study, the successful people that we emulate, the successful people that we see just doing some remarkable things. Now, once again, I never, if you've heard me before on other episodes, I never say that what they're doing is 100% perfect in all areas of their life. I'm saying on a specific thing that they won on, that they understood that this thought came to them and they wanted to make this thought come into fruition in order for the world to experience what it is that they were passionate about, that they were purposed to do, that thing that we see them doing, that they did that thing. Now, I don't know what's going on in the rest of their life. I'm not here to judge. But what I am saying is, I think about those people who made it happen. But I think about too that what about when people laughed at them, at their idea, at the thing that they said that they wanted to bring to fruition? What about the people who said, you can't do that? I remember telling a story one time, and the story talked about cavemen. Just imagine a caveman, and one of the cavemen said, you know what? I'm going to create this thing called a chair. And his group probably laughed at him like, we don't want that. That's too comfortable. He was like, no, I'm tired of sitting on rocks. I think this is gonna. And it's like, nobody's ever gonna. That's too comfortable. We love sitting on these rocks. And so what he did was he said, you know what, I'm going to make this happen. So he took some leaves and all the different things in order to make that first chair. Now think about all the different iterations of different chairs or whatnot, but think about that first chair that was made. Think about how that person, I say the K, but that person said, you know what? No, I'm going to make this happen, even though they got in their circle and they laughed at him. He may have had people who supported him, but think about the people who laughed at him. And then he had to say, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. I think about, because I hear and study success, I think about successful people have talked about that, how some of their friend group didn't believe in what it is that they were trying to create, but they stayed focused on their purpose. They stayed focused on their passion because they said, this thing inside of me is burning to come out of me. And I know it can change my family. I know it can change my community. I know it can ultimately change the world. And that's what we have to be willing to do, willing to sacrifice and willing to say, you know what, regardless of what they say, I know what I feel. Regardless of how they're acting or interacting with me, and maybe they're not showing me the love, I know how I feel. I know this is something that's burning inside of me to make happen. So I got to make it happen. See, when we start locking into our purpose and we plug into our purpose and say, you know what, this is something, it's no longer a want. This is a must. I must make this happen. I must take the steps to make this thing come to life. And I can't allow distractions to distract away from the thing that I want to do. Because understand, the moment we say we want to do something, the moment we make up our mind that, you know what, this thing has been burning inside of me to make it happen. Now I'm going to make it happen. The moment we say we want to do it, that's when all distractions will hit. And we have to be wise enough, savvy enough to say, you know what, I got to stay focused on that thing that I want to make happen. And this thing that's getting me outside or trying to get me outside or trying to pull me away from the thing that's burning inside of me, I got to recognize it's a distraction. That's what life is. Life is going to give you different things that you can bring into this world or you can do, but it's really going to test you to see if you really want to bring it into the world, if you really want to do it. That's what we're all going through. Everyone goes through that fork in the road where we can continue to go down that same road and experience the same things each and every day that we wake up. Or we can say, you know what? I know going down this other road, I don't know what's down there, But I just know that I got to do something different in order to have something different, in order to experience something different. And as scared as I am right now, as the lack of support that I'm getting from people who I thought would support me, I still got to get this done. I can no longer wait. I can no longer not do the thing that I know I'm supposed to do. I can't wait anymore. See, that's what it comes down to is we don't know how much time we have on this planet. We got to stop waiting to do that thing. I told you before when this season of the Purpose Lab, regardless of if I have a guest coming on or if it's just me talking in front of this camera about different strategies and different things to help you plug into and plug away from what's disempowering you and plug into the things I'm going to do it. I'm committed to this because this is the thing that I know a lot of people need to hear. And the reason why I know a lot of people need to hear it is because I get feedback from different people. When I go speak, I get all kind of DMs. I get all kind of people who email me and say, "Man, when you said this, man, this changed my life." I didn't know growing up, but I knew it was something different inside of me. But I didn't know this was the platform that I would have, that I would be able to participate in the journeys of so many people and be able to offer a little bit of insight or a lot of insight in order to change the way they think, in order to help them understand that it's in you to do that thing. It's just scary right now. But the world needs what you have. See, that thing that you do, no one can do it like you. No one can do that thing like you do. You cook the best chicken in the neighborhood. Man, you run the fastest in the neighborhood. Man, the way your kids, the way kids are, the way people gravitate to, no one has that it like you do. We all have that it. We all have that purpose that's inside. And no one can do it quite like us. We can go to the grocery store and see all kind of different type of breads, but it's a certain bread that we gravitate towards. And each individual gravitates towards certain type of, but it's not just one type of baked bread in the grocery store. There's all types. So I say that because there's all type of therapists. There's all types of barbers. There's all types of all, and the list goes on. So don't feel like it's so many people doing that thing that you, because no one does it like you. You get to put your own flavor on it. You get to put your own swag on it. But we need that thing that you have. See, when I stopped getting out my own head, because I've always had an opportunity to go speak, go train, go do that. But then I said, man, it's still some people that I'm missing because I know how big social media is. So now I have to make a committed effort to say, you know what? Let me give these resources. Let me give this information to more people who subscribe to the channel, more people who listen to the podcast, all the different information that I'm soaking up from different people who I'm around. Let me give that because it's not for me to hoard. I'm not supposed to get this information just hoard. No, I'm supposed to get this information and give this information. So if you think about the most successful companies, the most successful, they give information. They're givers. Amazon is a giver, regardless how you feel about Jeff Bezos. He's a giver. Steve Jobs, a giver. He gave something to the world. Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, they gave something to the, and because they gave something to the world is giving something and gave something to them. That's what it is. Think about it. Everything on this planet was once a thought, and they brought it in for it. So all I'm saying is they were possibly laughed at. And the people I study, not all of them, but a lot of them were. They were laughed at. Man, you can't, man, Elon, you can't make a car that's gonna drive. It's an electric car. Do you know how slow electric cars used to go? They couldn't hold a charge. They couldn't. And now look at how the game has changed. Look at how it's changed. Based on him saying, no, I'm going to do something different. I remember when people said with Amazon, oh, people going to always want to go to the mall to try on. And there are some people, but there are some people who love my daughter, Alani Arnold, my wife, Sharon. They love going online, picking it, and it comes to the house, Amazon Prime, 2 days later, a day later. And we thought, oh, nobody's going to buy into that. But he stayed focused on the thing that he wanted to bring to the world, even though people laughed. Because Amazon started as a bookstore. It was books. And then he started, because he had a bigger vision for it, started building on that vision. And people laughed. People laughed at the iPad. Oh, nobody's going to want to, people are going to want a newspaper. No, nobody. Where's the newspaper stand at? I ain't seen one in years. They laughed. They laughed at this thing, the internet, when they had the internet boom, because, oh, nobody's going to want to. What? They laughed at it. So many people were laughed at. And then they were celebrated. They were laughed at, talked about, then they were celebrated and talked about. So you just got to decide which end of the fence do you want to be on. See, you have a gift inside of you. You have something special inside of you. And you got to stop being scared to bring it to the world, because the world needs, as I said, what you have. That caveman, the world needed a more comfortable chair. Regardless of what his friend group had said, I'm glad he stuck with it, because now I get to sit in a comfortable chair and do this podcast. There's all different type of microphones. There's all different type of laptops. Don't think just because there's so many things that your thing isn't needed. It is. The world needs the gift that you have and that you'll give to us. So stop worrying about if they're going to laugh, because the laughter will soon be celebrated. So don't give up. Do not give up on your dream, on that idea, on your purpose, because it's in you, because it's for you to bring to the world. And so I hope you enjoy this quick episode of the Purpose Lab. And I hope you understand that, as I said, the world needs what you have. Nobody can do that thing quite the way you do it. So thank you for once again tuning in to the Purpose Lab. I have been your host, Dr. D.F. Arnold, and I'm honored. And I thank you for subscribing. I thank you for listening. I thank you for sharing this podcast. I really, really do. And I thank you for all your support and all your feedback. All right. See you on the next episode. Peace.